Ungasali Annual Storytelling Festival. It's a unique international event that celebrates the power of oral traditions, music and theatre, bringing together talented storytellers from all around the world. And so joining us now this morning is Dr. Jane Mufamadi, Freedom Park CEO. I'm here to just chat more about this exciting festival, its significance and promoting heritage and social cohesion at large. Dr. Jane, good morning. Thank you for joining us at this hour on the SABC.
Good morning to you, Lizel, and your viewers at home.
Well, thank you for joining us and thank you for being part of this conversation, because the Ungasali Annual Storytelling Festival, perhaps you could tell us more what the audiences can expect from this year's edition.
This year we're actually very excited in the sense that we're trying something new that we've not done. We've partially done it during the COVID-19 pandemic, but this year we are doing a mix of physical storytelling, celebration, music, but also digital. So we have curated 10 storytelling performances, music, into one, and we will watch this because the participation this year has been extended to the G20 countries as well. So we will have the international storytellers performing, but majority will be our local storytellers. We use this opportunity also to unearth new talent. And this storytelling will be done in the diversity of our South African languages.
Beautiful. This is exciting time. So when we're looking at storytelling at large, preserving our cultural heritage, promoting cross cultural understanding as well. Tell us more a little bit about that significance.
Storytelling is an old age African way of education to educate young people, to make sense of the world we live in. And we want, through this storytelling, to preserve that practice of storytelling. But we also want to encourage schools to also use storytelling as another form of educational method. But through that, we are also now looking at how do we take advantage of advancement of technology to use it as another platform to preserve and promote our own cultures, our heritage, and inculcate that sense of pride in our identities. So we're going to have also a seminar that will look at the use of technology in storytelling. How do we take that advantage? But of course, what are the downsides of technology in the art form of storytelling as well?
Well, it's also important to look at the type of stories that we're telling and how we're telling that. Well, it's also being reflected about us on that front. I want to go back to your earlier point, because this year's festival, it features storytellers from South Africa, but there is also a plethora of other countries that are joining us. You've got Scotland and Kenya and even England. And if we're looking at the significance of storytelling at large, how do you think the international collaboration enhances the storytelling experience?
I think through this storytelling, firstly, we want to showcase our African traditions, our African stories and belief systems, but that pride, so that the world can also know who are South Africans in their diversity. But also through storytelling, we're trying to promote people-to-people relations, to create a platform where the world can come together, share on issues of common concerns. We may be different in languages and cultures, but we are all humanity and we grapple with the same sense of challenges. It could be economic challenges, it could be peace and security issues, it could be how we promote and preserve our cultures, especially the dying cultures of the world. And we can learn and benchmark from each other in terms of how did other countries do that, but also how do we as South Africans preserve our cultures and heritage, and what are the lessons that the world can learn from us.
It's definitely speaking to the elements of social cohesion the world over. And it's been said, what can be mentioned can be managed. And so this year's festival also looks at the future. I mean, we're looking at the youth echoes, shaping global features through stories, which emphasizes the role of the youth in shaping narratives. And perhaps you could elaborate a little bit more on the theme and the significance for our country and for the continent at large in relation to the world.
Yes, South Africa this year is hosting the G20, and we do not want the voice of young people to be left out in the G20. So our theme is Youth Echoes and Youth Shaping Global Futures through Storytelling. And the majority of our participants are young people, even in the seminars and the roundtable discussions that we are going to have. we want young people to reflect on how do we take the world forward, given the current challenges that we are facing. What is it that we need to do to build a better future? The future whom they are leaders of in the coming. But we are saying young people should become leaders now. They should not wait for the 20 years to come. They must start taking active leadership now to shape the world that we are in, to shape the countries that they come from, in order to mitigate the various challenges that we're faced. But we also want to inspire hope. We want young people to be proud of who they are, and also to begin to tap into the economic opportunities that comes. So these platforms where they come together, they learn from each other, they share their experiences, it's really intended to inspire hope to young people.
There are plans to engage with around 1,500 young learners from primary and secondary schools. And so we can imagine the enormous impact that's going to be having on them in relation to hope and identity, which you've beautifully encapsulated. I wonder, though, at large, if we're looking at all the cultural events and other storytelling festivals, what sets Ungasali Annual Storytelling Festival apart from some of the other initiatives? And really, why should people be attending?
This is quite interesting. This is quite unique. As a build-up, we go to schools, we go to communities, we engage in interactive discussions and participations by learners, by youth out of school. We even go, by the way, to correctional services. We also share stories with those who are incarcerated in various correctional services. And we go to communities as well. And everything that we are doing, we document these experiences, and this will also be showcased on the 15th. By those who will attend the event of the 15th will also have to watch the build up to the 15th. What happens? What are the issues? What are the recommendations? And as they come on the 15th, as other storytellers and musicians perform on the 15th, they will have had sight of what other peers and communities are saying about taking the future forward, especially the experiences and the views from young people.
No, absolutely. And I even want to look at the program itself, traditional African folk tales and contemporary narratives, some that will be featured at the festival. Is there anything that stands out in particular for you, a fond memory that you also have as you look forward to what we can expect for this edition?
In this edition in particular, there is one storyteller, in fact, one of our moderators. She's very young, she's very dynamic. She will be facilitating the roundtable discussion. But she does not only do storytelling, she's an actress, she's a comedian. And through that, we are proud to be associated with Kopano Mahlasi, who's our very own staff member at Freedom Park. And it is the manner in which she weaves through the stories that are told are not fictional, most of them. These are stories of our heritage and identity, especially liberation heritage. So the stories that are being shared are stories of what people have gone through, but also how do we move forward from the past of pain to a future of hope, to inspire young people. So that for me excites me to say these young people are taking the past pain, especially looking at the liberation struggles that we've come through, to say we have won this freedom, and now how do we move forward and engage with other struggles, economic emancipation, for example. She does beautiful storytelling around that, based on the realities of South African communities. So she is the embodiment of what we want young people to do.
All right, so Dr. Mufamadi, you have painted that picture rather beautifully for us, and we're going to have to leave the conversation there. But thank you for this exciting initiative that we, of course, are looking forward to. Dr. Jane Mufamadi this morning, CEO of Freedom Park, chatting to us this morning about the Ungasali Annual Storytelling Festival. It's happening on the 15th of March 2025 at the Amphitheatre in Freedom Park. Again, thank you to her for joining us.